Okay, so good afternoon. Hope you're all well. Today I'm at a customer's house. They've reached out. They've had a few problems with the pond. Cut a long story short, they've had a few fish that look lethargic and have been on the side, so we've come over to have a look. But at the same time, I just want to show you, I'm very old school related, I love old school ponds. I'll just show you this because this is absolutely amazing. So, how much more old school are you going to get than that? So, absolutely cracking system. So, obviously we'll walk down here. So, there's two stages to this pond. So this one here is approximately 10 foot. Pretty much in the shape of a shield. Pretty much. An absolute fantastic waterfall. You ain't going to get much better than that. And then there's a waterfall then that goes around the back there as well. The way they've got the system running, basically running off a filter through a pipe at the back. Pipe comes up, goes into a pressure filter, and then goes into a 100 litre barrel filter with all the filtration in there. And then it comes into an additional pond that's at the back. That pond overflows, comes through, comes into the waterfall and it feeds that. We'll just come round. Obviously it's got a slate corner on it as well there. So you can see that. So, absolutely fantastic. Really, really proper old school. And then, basket comes into that bad boy. So it comes out the barrel filter there, look, as you can see. Comes out the barrel filter, comes straight into this pond here. This pond's probably about 1,000 litres, something like that. And it comes through, overflows, comes down, then it comes straight into the waterfall. So it's absolutely fantastic. So the customers turned around and said their 12-year-old son said apparently he's a fan of the channel. So we've bit of publicity for him. We'll catch you in a bit. So I'm back at the shop for the simple reason now what we're going to do is, based on that pond, it's been measured, it's roughly treating it like a round pond. So a 10 foot diameter by 1 foot deep, according to the data, is approximately 4,247 litres, 0.52. So we'll soon find that out because we've done the test. So we're going to do what they call the salt test to give us the calculation before we do any treatment. As we've said, we've identified that he's got Childo, and that's just one of the issues we found. But not only that, some of the fish are lying on the side, some of them are very red. All the water parameters have come back clean, so that's fine. There's no sign of any other major issues apart from this redness. We seem to be getting quite a few the same at the moment, but obviously this Childo is one of the main ones we need to check and we need to treat. The thing is though, for us to realistically treat, and if I'm teaching to suck eggs, I apologise, this is for people that are inexperienced, a bit like the customers that we've got at the moment. They're very inexperienced. They built the pond 15 years ago. Fantastic pond. But when I've said to them, can you tell me what the literage is, I hadn't got a clue. And I don't want to do a treatment to a dosage that we don't know. So the salt test is very simple. So what we're going to do is, or what we've done is, we've put the salt meter in the small tank, and we've measured the salt that's currently present, which is 0.01%. What we're going to do is, based on that now, we're going to put just 4.3 kilos of salt into those ponds half an hour after. We're going to check it with the salt meter. So if it comes back at around 0.11%, then we know it's 4,200 litres. So it's normally, the calculation is 1 kilo per 1,000 litres. So if you want 0.3 and you've got a 4,000 litre pond and you want to take it to 0.3, it's 3 times 4 times 4,000 litres. So that would be the equivalent to 12 kilos of salt, which will take you up to 0.3 on a 4,000 litre pond. Hence why it's 1 kilo per 1,000 litres. So to give you 0.3, you do 1 kilo per 1,000 litres times 3 to give you the 0.3, if that sort of makes sense. So we're going to weigh out now 4.3 kilos, then we're going to take that up. The go-to treatment that we're going to use for this one will be Alprex, for the simple reason is, obviously we've got the nasties in there, but obviously there's a lot of redness on there and there's some sores as well. So I don't want to go down the FMG route, obviously, because formalin and salt don't like each other. They're enemies of each other, and we want best friends. So what we're going to do is we're going to be putting in an Alprex, which is an acraflavin, so it's an antibacterial, and we're going to be putting in the malachite mix to give it you, which is going to be to kill the killers. So it's going to be interesting. For the simple reason is it's going to be fluorescent green, and again, this is going to be for people that don't know. So Alprex will be fluorescent green. The reason why it's fluorescent green is so you can see it's going into everything, because it's fluorescent green. So if somebody is trying to identify a leak in something, they will stick a fluorescent green or a fluorescent dye in to identify where that leak is. What we want to do is we want to make sure that this treatment gets into every single nook and cranny within this pond, because there's a lot of nooks and crannies. So even down to the waterfall and stuff like that. So we just want to make sure it's crashing off that as well. That's me. That's how I do it. That's how I would do it in my own pond, and I would treat everybody else's pond as if it's my personal pond. That's the way that I do it. So I want to make sure that all of everything gets in there and gets treated. So I'll catch you back in a bit. Okay, so good morning. Yesterday my battery died on my phone. I've just dropped it now. Battery died on my phone yesterday. And obviously because we were doing the dilution of the salt last night, I thought it was best to leave it for 24 hours to allow that water to get through the system completely. And at the end of the day I wanted to make sure that the treatment that we was going to do was going to be absolutely 100%. So I'm over today now. So what we actually did yesterday was we weighed out exactly 5 kilos. My gut was telling me that it was around the 4,800 mark. So the salt content originally was 0.01. So by sticking in realistically 5 kilos, to predict it to be 0.48 or 4,800, it would be somewhere in the regions of 0.13 or something like that. So I'm just going to switch this on now to show you. So you can see that switched on now. So I'm just going to flash it again. We're going to put it in, and then we're going to get a reading. Okay, so that reading's 1.2. So basically I put 5 kilos in, and because there was originally 0.1 in there, so what basically take 200 grams off, which gives you 4,800 litres. That's how we do it. So that gives us, I now know exactly what size pond I'm now treating. Now a lot of people would have turned around and say, okay, put PP in it. For the benefits of this, because there's some marks on the fish, we want to put a treatment in that's going to help for that as well. PP can be quite harsh as well, so we're going to use Alprex. So I'm going to set that up now, and then we're going to have a nice fluorescent green pond. Obviously I've come back today, and the one fish that was poorly sadly didn't make it. But irrespective of whether it would have been yesterday when we did the treatments or today when we didn't done the treatments, if I hadn't done the treatment right with the correct dosage, who knows. So we're just doing it correct and we're doing it to the process. So I'll catch you back in a bit. Okay, so what we've done is we've put the treatments in and we've done pretty much a 70-30. So priority has been 70%. So we've run 70% in that barrel that's then come down in the waterfall, that's now coming to here, and as you can see it's got a good dye on there now. You can also see, or hoping you can make out, there's actually dye residue now that's in the waterfall, and you can actually see where the treatment's gone onto the wall as well. That's just in case there's anything floating on there. What we've then done then is the other 30%, I'll take you round. So the other 30% has gone into here now. So basically what will happen now is the treatment's coming to this one as well. What I didn't want was 100% of the treatment coming straight into here, because what would have happened then is we could have affected these. What I've also suggested to the customer is maybe using this, because it's only a small waterfall that goes through. So what I've suggested to the customer is maybe use this as a quarantine tank further down the line. It's a decent size, it's about 1,000 litres, which is ideal. And then obviously they can carry on using that barrel filter. I've also explained that barrel filters are fantastic as long as they're cleaned out on a regular basis. He's also got an Awazi filter as well, that's in there as well, as a secondary filter. So this could be isolated as a quarantine tank, and then that could go into the main pond. So that's where we are at the moment. So I'm just going to stay here for a while now to make sure this does exactly what it says on the tin. Hopefully putting the customer's mind at rest. It is what it is, so we've just got to look at them. I mean, we've still got a couple of fish that are still lying on the side, so we'll have a look. I'll come back in a couple of days' time to have another look at this and see what else we can do. So hopefully that's give you a bit of an insight into how I do an exact calculation on the volume of water within the ponds. That's how I do it. So I'm not saying it's the perfect way, it's the more logical way for me to do it. So it gives me a nice, accurate reading, so I know where I am. Also then, it's simple, so if I want to take this pond up now to say 0.3, then what I would use then is 4.8 kilos times 3, and I'd do it that way, and that's how I'd do it. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this side of the video. I'll probably sum up in a little bit anyway. So until then, be good, look after your family, I'll see you soon. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that video. It was nice to go there, and it was nice to enjoy it as well. Just to make you aware, some of you may have seen that I put out a spat, for want of a better word, as a short a few days ago. Cut a long story short, we took a telephone order through the card machine, and subsequently we've had a chargeback as a result of it, which ain't good. However, it's what it is. There's not a lot I can do about it at the moment. It's going through police, it's going through the fraud office, it's going through card machine, the card company, it's going through everything, but by the looks of it, it looks like potentially we could have lost an amount of money. Now, obviously, us being a small company, and we are a small company, it's going to affect us. But at the end of the day, we'll still keep calm, and we'll still carry on. That's what we do. However, me being a complete and utter cabbage, and I am, I try to go on the website and do the website myself. Try to take the online shop down, because obviously that's another thing that we've now decided that we're taking the online shop down, because believe it or not, That's another outlet that could cause us more problems than it solves. While I was using the website, I broke it, basically. And I don't know what I've done, so I ain't sure what I've done at the moment. So the current link to the website is the Mad Dog. So it's THEMADDOG 001 dot wixsite.com. I'll put that down there because I've broke the website basically. So keep calm, carry on, do what we do, keep smiling. It's the best I can do. But I'll tell you what I will do. I'm going to put some OSI Hoyt Series on. It's about 45 cm. It's just coming, it's in quarantine. There's 6 of them in total. Absolutely fantastic. So let me take this opportunity again to wish you all the best. Be good, be nice to your family. I'll see you soon. Enjoy the video.